morning. Albert Einstein once said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use creating them, which means and suggests that we have to change our mindset, we have to get more knowledge. And on that note, we'll be getting more knowledge. Welcome to the Newspaper Review, another edition, a fresh edition. Of course, we have technical glitches, but yes, we would move. It's a no getting by, it's a no stopping edition for Newspaper Review on Immaculate Television today, and my name is Andolo Akpo. What we do is quite simple. We get into the dailies, check how many stories we can use, developing stories, breaking stories, and every of the stories we can use across the country, Nigeria, and even sometimes, if time permits, we'll check some other stories coming around the world, even Africa. And so today we'll be starting off with Daily Sun newspaper, beautifully. On the front page of Daily Sun newspaper, it reads, Obi Bode George Middle Belt Forum raise alarm, say kidnapping banditry have worsened. And of course, that's not even a news any longer, because all we know for now is that there's been insecurity cases across the country. We talked about a couple of weeks back, we talked about the kidnapping case in Buhari local government area in Abuja, and now we're talking about Plateau, also in the news today. So many of these trackings are not so pleasant. Nigerians are crying, and what we are saying is that this is a far cry from what we're expecting from this current incumbent governor of the Tinubu-led administration. We expect more, especially in terms of security right now, because of course we have said it time and again that if any sector would work well, one of the very sectors we should focus on is the security infrastructure. The security architecture of the country must be safe, secure, and readily available all through seasons. And that's what we are saying this morning. And away from that story, Rivers crisis deepens as court voids state's 2024 budget, redeployment of cleric and deputy clerk. On that story, you see others, Governor Fubara to represent budget illegally constituted assembly. That's on page 6 of Daily Sun. You want to get more into that story, you need to catch yourself a newsprint this morning. Daily Sun particularly. Domestic foreign borrowing to continue as waste and means rises to 2,700,000% in 7 years. That's also on page 2 of Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Drama in Plateau. Assembly assisting sacked PDP members vow to resume legislative work, and it seems like a comedy and a comic relief for people involved in this, but that's what we say. Why should we have these kind of things? Is this a joke? I don't know what some of our political leaders and heads, I don't know what they take us for. They take us for a ride, and that's exactly what they take us for the record, and we've seen that coming time and again. No financially challenged person will be left out of student loan. That's coming from the president of Nigeria, Tinubu. This morning, Glow rewards long-serving staff with millions. Also, a story you can catch. Lassa fever outbreak eats FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Emergency operation centers activated, and that's on page 27 of Daily Sun newspaper. Tinubu running inclusive government, says CAN. CAN is the Christian Association of Nigeria, and all of that stories you can catch on Daily Sun. You want to get more into that, you need a Daily Sun newspaper in your hands this morning. Away from Daily Sun now to Daily Trust, we have daily on the dailies now. So Tinubu pushes for Kwakwanso Ganduje reconciliation. That's also coming from Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Lackluster, Nigeria reach knockout stage after beating Guinea-Bissau. That's no more news. Of course, Nigeria has qualified to the next stage, and we are hoping to face tomorrow Cameroon. It's going to be a very big battle for the Super Eagles as well as for the Cameroonians. Of course, we are expecting that Nigeria will come out to emerge as the victor. Of course, I'm a Nigerian, so I will support my country with all my chest. Of course, away from that story now, APC chair meets Kano stakeholders today on Thursday, and that was yesterday. Of course, we brought you in the news yesterday. 355 deaths, 2,055 injuries recorded in traffic accidents in 1 month. That's coming from the FRSC, Federal Road Safety Commission in Nigeria. Also in the dailies today, dad bags life jail for sexually assaulting 3 children. That's an aberration, especially in the context of the African culture. That is an aberration, and of course, we're expecting that the culprit must be put to book. Of course, the hands of law, the hands of justice must reach out to this man for assaulting three of your children. I mean, who does that? That's not a good thing to talk about. Mother Nabia bagged first class. That's coming from uncle. Wow. So of course, that's like a slight turn to the event of that kidnap series that actually ended a life of a Nigerian. That's what we should consider. We are considering the life of a Nigerian at stake now. A Nigerian that is prospective, has a lot of prospect, that is a first class product of this country. Those are the people we're expecting to come up to, change the narrative of this country, to help in the development of this nation. And if we have them killed by kidnappers and bandits, I'm not sure this is the best way to go. Away from Daily Trust newspaper now to the Guardian newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, quite beautifully on the front page, it says universities, hospitals in darkness as federal government 105 million US dollars power project flops. And you would see how there is, if you're watching on your screen right now, you see how there are solar panels, and then there is EEP phase 1 targets, about 227,000 naira, and then 28,000 naira, bringing down to students and staff of universities to benefit from regular power supply. Also, staff in teaching hospitals, including 819 doctors. Also, power 2,850 street lights, and subsequent decommissioning of hundreds of generators, also on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. It seems like a good one, especially for universities as well as hospitals. In a way, from that now, terrorists in Katsina State, we keep talking about insurgency in the country, and it seems not to be yielding to every effort by the security apparatus, the security officials in this country. But we hope they do the right thing to get this resolved in no fewer than maybe we just expect it as soon as possible. Federal government to fund student loan scheme from education tax. That's also from, you want to catch more on that story, that's on news page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Kidnapping, Tinubu okays emergency procurement of tracking equipment, also on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Liberia's new president suffers heat stroke during inauguration. That's also a story to check on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Crisis loans are sacked, Plateau lawmakers resume. That's not a good one. I've said it earlier, but away from that now. Northern senators fought lopsided 2024 budget, relocation of CBN, FAN offices. That's been in the news for quite a while now, talking about the fact that should the Central Bank of Nigeria headquarters be relocated to Lagos. And of course, many different opinions about this, particularly many conspiracy theories as well. People saying, is this your right time, even if you have to do that? And others saying it is the best time because of the current insurgency and the state of the nation, especially in the FCT. Yeah, of course, talking about kidnapping and all of the banditry and, that is currently happening in that region. So, some are saying yes, it's a good move by the federal government to bring it back to Lagos, because I remember time was when everything was almost all the headquarters were in Lagos. Now maybe that's exactly what we need to do, move it back to where it belongs. I don't know, but of course you have your own opinion, and of course we are entitled to our opinion as regards to that. But we hope that the government will do the right thing that would benefit the country at large, and not just a facet of the people, not an ethnic group. We are not ethnical, we are not racial, we are all one Nigerian, and that's what we really would like to say. Away from that now to the Nation newspaper. Nation newspaper is reporting that federal government explains how students will access loans. We've been on this last year. I remember when it came on board, we had a lot of persons saying it's a good development, while others are saying not so good, because it's actually for some persons and not for some persons. So some persons who have their parents as civil servants, at a particular level, will be able to access it, but some that do not have their parents work for the government might not benefit from this opportunity. And we can't say that everybody should work for the government, because we should have all corporate bodies, private organizations that people work. And if that's the case, I mean, it should be fair and even for everybody to use. Of course, if you would consider that students must, get this loan, let it be fair. Let it be all fair and square. Let it be that every other person can access loans without having to have a parent in the civil servant, maybe in a particular level or position of work to get this loan. And that's exactly the conversation we're having. Away from that now, Undo 2024, Ayedatiwa Owuyeye step in. Of course, it's about the current situation of the governor consorts. Away from that as well now to Oyo State, where Makinde takes blast reports to Tinubu. Of course, it's been topical that we've heard after the current recent situation, the explosion that happened in Bodija area of Ibadan, the state capital recently. We know that it's been quite a national disaster, not just something that can be managed in the state. We need help. Maybe that's exactly why Makinde has resolved to call in the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to come and take a look into this, to help into some of the ways they can help. Away from that story as well now to the Punch newspaper. And on the front page, it reads, most abductions in Abuja, others not reported. Yes, that's a twist to this whole development, because if you consider, we are all talking about the people that got kidnapped here from that family, Al-Qadir family, and we are talking about the few ones that we've been seeing the reports all over the newsprint. What about the ones we don't get to see? What about the ones that never got mentioned on the news platform? What do we say about that? We have many of that because we know that these are just the ones we can see, because Nigeria is so vast, so massive landmass, you can imagine. So many of these things might have been happening before now and we don't get to know, and we can all attribute it to the shambolic military personnel and administration we have in the country. Of course, we know they are trying, but we only ask that they do more. We only ask that they thrive more. They strive to get things well, get things, running smoothly in the country. And that's exactly what we're saying. Okota, others gain notoriety as kidnapping hotspots in Lagos. Also, why kidnap cases are underreported, that's coming from AI and private investigators. This morning on the front page of the Punch newspaper, CBN Mirais Bank capital-based that the CAN chairman shuns DHQ invitation, 10 corpses recovered, and that story is all about the fact that the Nigerian police force on Thursday said it recovered no fewer than 10 corpses in various locations in Mangu local government area of Plateau State on Thursday, and that was yesterday. And this was as the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the Mangu local government area of Plateau State, Reverend Timothy Daluk, said he would not withdraw the allegations against troops on the crisis, nor would he honor any invitation by the military. The chairman of CAN also was invited by Defense Headquarters over his recent comment against the military on the killing in Mangu. And you would recall that armed men had on Wednesday morning launched a fresh attack in the state, killing no fewer than 30 victims in Kwashalek village in the Mangu local government area of the state, and more than 10 people were also killed in Mangu town and environs, with several houses burned by the attackers the same day. And so Reverend Daluk had accused the Nigerian military of supervising the killings of Christians and destruction of properties in the Mangu local government area. He said this in a video, and it has become a thing. Now the headquarters now, the military headquarters on Thursday said it would request to meet with the chairman of CAN in the Mangu local government area of Plateau State over his comment against the military. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the DHQ was in the process of reaching out to the cleric to substantiate his allegation. We hope it's just going to be to substantiate his allegations and not to probably I don't know, maybe put him under duress or what have you. Similarly, the DHQ in a statement also denied the allegations by the cleric, describing them as a baseless allegation and that is untrue. The statement by the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, partly read that the attention of the Defense Headquarters has been drawn to a malicious video made by the Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Mangu Chapter, Reverend Timothy Daluk, and they said they would like to do more investigations. But yes, again, the question now is not what the man has said. Let's focus more on how we can ensure security, absolute security in Mangu local government area of Plateau State, and not just talk about the fact that a particular sect of religious sect is being killed, an ethnic group is being killed. Let's talk about the fact that we are losing Nigerians. As far as we care, we are still one Nigeria, and there's no division as of yet, and so we should operate as one, because united we stand, divided we fall, they say, and it's so true, because we need to come as a unilateral body, as one single entity, not a disenfranchised or not a segmented kind of like ethnical country. We need to be one and stand as one. That is when we can tackle the insurgency, the insecurity situation in the country. From my own personal opinion, away from that as well, still talking about the Supreme Court, we hear ex-lawmaker indicted by Otedola Farouk Lawan's appeal is coming up today. All of this we will track in the subsequent bulletins and news stories we will give to you. Away from that, now straight up to Nigerian Tribune. Crisis looms in Plateau Assembly. We've said this sacked 16 lawmakers, move to resume legislative duties. Yeah, threat, invitation to anarchy. That's coming from the APC. Of course, we know about this to be not a good one, especially right now that we are in many serious challenges and tribulations. Away from that now, the Vanguard newspaper reports that rumpus over a relocation of federal agencies to Lagos. We are still hoping that Northern senators fought relocation of federal agencies to Lagos, kick against lopsided allocation distribution of funds in 2024 budget to North. And it's been a topic because the major people are making a case for this particular movement by the federal government are from the North. And it seems like we are starting all of this again, saying that the North is saying no, it must not leave Abuja. Because they also want to have it very close to them, while some people are saying no, it has been in the north for a while now, let it come back to the southwest and let's see what we can do from there. And it's been topical, it's been give and take, it's been we're dragging forth and back and forth and all of that, but it seems not to get the conclusion as of yet. But we hope and we stick out our nose to see how it unfolds and bring it up to you live from the studios of Immaculate Television. And just like I said also when we started, that Albert Einstein once said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used creating them. And on that note, I'll be saying my BYE on this morning edition of Newspaper Review on Immaculate Television. My name once again is Anuluakbo Idowu. Remember that you can also stream our programs on digital platforms like Limex World TV app for iPhone users, as well as NetNiger TV app for Android users, and all the social media platforms is where to catch our live programs as it drops. Thank you so very much for joining us. Nigerians, we are one unilateral body and we should operate as one. Thank you for joining, and stay tuned because we have subsequent programs and editions and newscasts coming your way. But just in a moment, stay with us, don't go nowhere.